Hello and welcome to part 2 of our vitamin B12 series. In part 1 of this series, we discussed in detail about 10 warning signs of vitamin B12 deficiency that you should not ignore. So do check that out. But apart from the signs to look, did you ever think why are you deficient of this vitamin? Is it because you are not eating proper diet? Or are there other factors involved? Let's find that out in today's video. First of all, let's understand why this vitamin is so important for our body. Your body needs B12 for synthesis of DNA, RBC formation, and anemia prevention. It also plays an important role in your nerve activity and energy production. You would think that eating B12-rich foods is the quick remedy for a vitamin B12 deficiency. But this isn't always the case. There are two main causes of vitamin B12 deficiency. Number 1, not eating B12-rich foods, and number 2, poor intestinal absorption. So, here comes the list of 10 main causes which can lead to vitamin B12 deficiency. Make sure you watch the video till the end to find out if you are at risk of vitamin B12 deficiency. Number 1 is the most obvious, lack of proper diet. Vitamin B12 is a water-soluble vitamin which is stored in liver. Our body does not make this vitamin, so we need to depend on a variety of foods to get it. The main sources of vitamin B12 is through meat, poultry, and milk products. So, vegans must be extremely cautious about vitamin B12 insufficiency as the plant-based sources are very limited. Some natural sources of absorbable B12 for vegans are mushrooms, nutritional yeast, soya milk, and soya products. Along with that, fortified meals and supplements are also good sources. It's worth noting that because this vitamin is stored in the liver, if you go vegan or stop eating vitamin B12 foods, your B12 stores can last anywhere between 3 to 5 years. After that time, B12 deficiency symptoms will begin to appear. Number 2, heavy drinking. Alcohol usage is linked to functional vitamin B12 insufficiency. Heavy drinkers and people with alcoholic liver disease are more likely to have this deficit. Due to heavy drinking, B12 is not digested properly by body despite of having normal level of B12 in blood. Number 3, long-term intake of antacids. Antacids may be consumed if you have gastrointestinal problems such as heartburn, peptic ulcer, or acid reflux. Acids in the stomach are neutralized by antacids. However, in order to absorb vitamin B12, your body needs gastric acid to trigger specific enzyme processes. As a result, long-term use of antacids may result in vitamin B12 malabsorption. Number 4, weight loss surgery. People who have had weight loss or bariatric surgery are more likely to have vitamin B12 insufficiency. This is because after surgery, the release of stomach acids and a protein called intrinsic factor is reduced, both of which are very crucial for B12 absorption. Malabsorption of nutrients, including vitamin B12, is a common side effect of bariatric surgery. In fact, according to a study, even 3 years after this surgery, 30% of subjects had a B12 shortage. Number 5, gastritis. Gastritis is an inflammatory or erosive condition of the stomach lining which causes the cells of the stomach lining to die and decrease the formation of hyaluronic acid, which in turn decrease vitamin B12 absorption from food. Because the gastritis diet may prohibit meat and milk items except yogurt, you may need to take B12 supplements to prevent its deficiency. Number 6, pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia is a risk factor and a complication of B12 deficiency in which your body generates excessively large non-functional red blood cells. In this condition, your immune cells assault the stomach lining, which produces the gastric intrinsic factor. Vitamin B12 cannot be absorbed adequately without intrinsic factor, resulting in the deficit. People over 60 years old and those with a family history of these 3 autoimmune diseases, Addison's disease, vitiligo, or pernicious anemia, are more likely to develop B12 deficiency. Number 7, malabsorption of vitamin B12 in small intestine. Cobalamin or vitamin B12 absorption in the small intestine can be hampered by a variety of stomach and intestinal diseases. Few of them are as follows. Number 1, SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. This occurs when dangerous bacteria consumes available B12 before it is absorbed by small intestine, causing a shortage. Number 2, celiac disease. It is an autoimmune illness characterized by gluten sensitivity that affects the lining of the small intestine, resulting in vitamin B12 deficiency. Number 3. Crohn's disease. This is characterized by a damaged ileum, which is important for vitamin B12 absorption in the small intestine. And number 4. Tapeworm infection. Tapeworms feed on vitamin B12 in your stomach before it is absorbed by the intestine. To avoid a B12 shortage caused by tapeworms, avoid eating raw or uncooked meat. Number 8. Infants. Infants born to vegan or vegetarian mothers are at high risk of vitamin B12 deficiency. According to a study, roughly 45% of infants have a vitamin B12 deficit. Vitamin B12 is required for both unborn and newborn offspring, and if the mother is a vegetarian or vegan, this requirement may not be reached by her diet for the unborn or through her breast milk for the newborn. As a result, vitamin B12 insufficiency in a breastfed infant can occur between 3 to 6 months after birth, severely limiting the baby's growth. Number 9. Age above 50 years. According to studies, the risk of vitamin B12 insufficiency rises with age. This insufficiency is found in 10 to 15% of adults over the age of 60. Vitamin B12 absorption is reduced as the stomach acid output and the amount of digestive enzyme PEPSIN decrease with age. The deficit is more common in older adults with gastrointestinal difficulties. If you are over 50 years old and suffer from gastrointestinal difficulties, you may be at risk of vitamin B12 insufficiency. Number 10. Genetic factor. According to a research, vitamin B12 malabsorption may be caused by an inherited gene mutation. In a study of 154 families suspected of having hereditary cobalamin malabsorption, a gene alteration was found in 126 of them. So, if you have vitamin B12 deficiency due to poor absorption, it's best to consult your doctor to get the right dose of vitamin B12 supplements. Because in this case, even if you are having a B12-rich diet, your body is not able to absorb it due to one of the reasons we discussed in our video. Have you ever suffered from vitamin B12 deficiency? How did you find out? Was it due to any of the causes mentioned in this video? Let me know in comments. In my next video, I'll discuss in detail about how to overcome vitamin B12 deficiency. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to get the next video notification. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Here are 2 more videos to help you maintain a healthy lifestyle. I'll see you soon with part 3 of our B12 series. Till then, stay happy and healthy. Bye for now.